Hello and welcome to beautiful Pickett, Wisconsin on some May day. I just had my phone looking at the weather widget and I don't know what the date is. It's the 26th. It's the day after Memorial Day. That's what day it is. May 26th, 2026. So if you look at the weather widget, which I may or not have already posted at this time, you'll be like, holy crap. Yeah, it's hot. Well, it's warm, probably the warmest day of the year so far. It's 80 degrees here, very light winds, even though it says 10 miles an hour. Maybe I'm in a spot where I'm blocked by the wind, which is a fine thing for me. Wonderful day. So a couple of things here before I talk about the engine and the run and stuff like that is, those that have been watching these engine runs for this season have seen that I've got two different camera angles. One is kind of a shot from here, and then one is the side-on shot. And I'm just wondering if anybody has a preference of one angle over the other, if you like what I'm doing with both camera angles, because honestly it's more setup time, which takes more time to do. It's more stuff to have to mess with, and it's more editing time. I kind of like the final product a little bit better, but it's a real pain in the butt. And it got kind of monotonous always having the same view. I don't know that I can incorporate this angle view and get a good RPM reading without putting my hand in the prop or not. So anyway, comment, let me know what you think about these camera angles, if I should change them or what. So today's engine is a Saito FA-91S engine. This is an engine that was provided to me as part of payment for services rendered from a new customer named Trent. Now this engine, and I tell the whole story in Engine Talk episode 35. So if I recall, or if I remember to do it when I'm posting this video, I'll put a link on one of the sides to that video so you can go and watch that engine or that video, so I don't have to explain the history of this engine. But this is what I'm calling the compromised Saito 91S. And to understand why I'm saying that, go watch that video. The bottom line is it was in really bad shape, and I'm not sure it's in much better shape now. It's got new bearings, it's been cleaned up. I did attempt to run this engine in the garage. Now I had to buy a new valve for it, and I want to shout out to Cactus RC from eBay. I bought the valve from him, and then once he found out who I was, he just gave me the valve and refunded my money. So thank you very much. I don't know what your name is, but thank you very much. The valve is beautiful. So anyway, I was in the garage hoping, because this thing, after I put it together, and like I said, you'll have to go and watch that video to understand the history of it. It didn't have good compression, and it had a valve leak. You know, the exhaust valve was just destroyed. So it has really fine compression now. Obviously you can't feel it, but I'm telling you, this feels like it's got good compression. So when I ran it in the garage, it was almost like it was just running out of prime. It would run and then it would stop. Now that told me two different things, and I haven't changed anything, so you're going to get to see how it's operating firsthand. And I forgot to bring, stand by one second. I forgot to bring something to show. So that tells me that it's either not sealing and it's got an exhaust leak that it just has a leak as it starts to heat up really quickly and dies, or there's a fuel intake problem with the carb intake manifold or something like that. Now this thing will draw a prime really well, and if you watch closely here, if I've got the right camera angle up, you'll see that it really draws a prime fine, and it starts fine. It just runs for like 5 seconds and then it stops. So, shit, where was I going with that? So it's either got an exhaust valve leak still as it warms up, or it's got an issue here. So I have another carb. I've got the carb off of my personal, well, this is my personal one too also, but my other Saito FA-91S here. And I brought this here because I'm going to, if it doesn't run, which I'm pretty sure it's not going to run right, I'm going to at least swap it with this carb, which I know is known good. And I've got the O-ring and the metal ring here. So the only thing I'm going to be using from this engine are these two screws. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start this engine up, see if it'll run, see if it acts any differently. I mean, like I said, it feels like it's got really strong compression right now because it didn't have that. I've got a Master Air Screw 14.6 prop on here. an OSF plug and some 5% fuel. Not like that really matters at this point until we get the engine running. So let's get the engine running, and I'll show you at least what I saw the other day and see if it translates to today and if this fixes it. I don't think I've changed the high-speed needle. Let me check this. One. Oh God, that was really close. So I'm going to go 1, 2. 2 full turns from closed, fully closed. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see. You might be able to see it come out here, but it takes a prime really well. So let's see how she's going to fire up here. It'd be nice if my balloon igniter would connect. And that's about what you see. Well, we may not be getting this camera angle anyway because that camera is having some issues. It's telling me it can't record for some reason. Well, I don't know. We may have technical difficulties here because it's saying it can't record. So I don't know what to say. See, and it's not even getting hot, and yet it still feels like it's got really good compression. And I've done my normal carburetor setup thing on this, so, and the plug is good, and the igniter is good. See, it just is kind of maddening because it's like, what the hell? I've gone through enough Saito 91 engines to set them up right. See how much fuel came out of that? And that's the extent of what I would see. So I'm probably going to just go ahead and do the carb swap and see if I get any better results. Okay, this camera here thinks it wants to work now. I've just changed to the other carb, and shit, now it's telling me it can't record again. Or is it recording? Okay, so now this camera's recording, and maybe now it's saying it cannot record, so I don't know what the hell's going on with that camera. So anyway, this is a carb from my other engine, and we'll see. This experiment will help identify whether the engine or the issue is in the head here or in the carb. If it's in the carb, it can probably be fixed. If it's in the head, it may not be able to be fixed. I don't want to start that at full throttle. Apparently the issue is with the carb. I must have pulled it back too far. Let's see if it'll fire up again here. So apparently my issue was in that carburetor. I mean, that's pretty much what this is telling me. There's not a throttle stop screw on this carb, so that's what I just did. Perfect low-speed 4-stroke pinch test result. Alright, I think we've seen enough of that. It runs. Alright then, so there you go. There's how you do some troubleshooting. Now, when I messed with this engine, I don't know, maybe I thought I took the carb apart and looked at it, but maybe I didn't. Maybe there's just something wrong with the high-speed needle. So I'm going to have to disassemble the carb that was originally on here, inspect it, because apparently I didn't do that, I guess. I tested it, I did my little test to set it up, and it seemed right that way. But obviously there's something wrong with either the carb, maybe that O-ring was the problem. I can maybe just swap that O-ring out also and see if that was the issue, but either way, the engine runs now. So yeah, it was just an air leak apparently. That was an air leak that was causing it, because this thing's got really good compression. It was running really well for a compromised Saito FA-91S. So in the intro when I was asking about the two cameras, let me just talk about that real quick. So for some reason this little Canon camcorder has been giving me issues ever since I changed the size of the memory card. I had only a 16 gig memory card in it, and it seemed like, hang on, I gotta see, I'm hearing beeping. Okay, I'm starting to get super sensitive to hearing beeping on my cameras now. So I had a 16 gig memory card in it, and it worked fine. I never had any kind of issues with this camera at all. But I'd forget to delete things off of there because 16 gig gets filled up really quick when I'm making videos. So what I did was I was like, well, I got bigger cards, so I put a 64 gig card in there. And ever since I've done that, I'm having some really strange issues where it'll just stop recording, and then I can recover the data, but it'll still have stopped at some point. Today, it's doing something totally different where I'll hit play or record, and it starts recording, and 7 seconds into the recording, it stops and says, cannot record. So anyway, I know that has nothing to do with this, so my question about which video angle do you like the best, maybe it's irrelevant now, because if that camera's dying on me, I don't have the funds to buy another camera, so we'll just have to stick with this angle and do things this way. But anyway, this engine runs really well for a compromised engine. I highly recommend you go back and look at Engine Talk episode 35, where I detail exactly what I found with this engine and why it's called that. But right now, it's a very nice running engine. All I have to do is go and play with the carburetor that came with it and get it working again.